Hello everyone, and welcome to Alexander Ferguson, episode 2. At the end of episode 1, a man had got hung up on asking Celia for a photograph and hung up on her refusing to send it because the university had told her that only scammers try to force you into sending a photo. And in reply to him saying, I would love to change the topic, she said, then change it. So tell me, how was work been? And I hope everything is going as you planned. It's Saturday morning, said Celia. I don't work at weekends, so I'm going walking with some friends today. OK, and I want you to keep our conversation private, he replied completely randomly, and I hope you had a good sleep. That's an irrelevant comment, said Celia. I want you to paint your toenails. Why do you want me to keep it private? Because I don't know what other meant saying it meant change your mind. I don't want anything to spoil what we have now that it hasn't even gotten far. What on earth does that mean? Said Celia, in reply to him saying, because I don't know what other meant saying it meant change your mind. Please explain, because I have no idea. Like our relationship. I told you that I would love us to be more than friends, and we agreed to get know more about each other first. I have no idea what that means. Please type it again so it makes some kind of sense. That was why we came here, to keep our conversation private. Please, I don't like arguing. Then don't argue. Explain what it means, please, because it's meaningless rubbish. People meant change your mind if they found out about our relationship. I don't know what people meant change means. You about going on about our relationship and getting to be more than friends. OFGS, said Celia. Please type something that makes sense. Are you illiterate? You would say you don't understand. Don't call me illiterate. It was a question. Are you illiterate? If you aren't, please type in proper English that means something. Just forget about the topic sense. You want to be always rude all the time. That's also meaningless rubbish. So I assume the answer is yes, I am illiterate. I think you're stupid or something. Nothing you've typed so far this morning means anything. Then go to hell, he said. It's all meaningless, garbled, semi-literate nonsense. I don't need stress. You need to go back to school and learn to read and write properly, and I thought I'd met an educated man. You're the one who's blind, or are you sometimes, because I'm surprised that you can see what I'm texting now and reading. Yes, that really is what he said. More illiterate rubbish, said Celia. The more ridiculous rubbish you type, the more stupid you make yourself sound. I suggest you either read what you're typing before hitting send, or go back to school and learn to write anything that makes sense, and stop typing rubbish that makes you sound like an illiterate street kid. Are you an illiterate street kid? Thanks, he said. You're not the only one I talk to that's from the UK. I thought you were supposed to be in the UK, she said. I know, you never wanted to talk to me. That's why you're acting this way. I am. Yes, so you should know how to write a sentence in English that isn't garbled illiterate rubbish. I'm sure you don't write like that when you're at work. Just letting you know that you're not the only one from here that I talk to, and they don't complain about my English. It's very disrespectful, said Celia, to write such illiterate rubbish to me. That means, he said, you do like me. And in reply to him saying, just letting you know that you're not the only one from here that I talk to, and they don't complain about my English, she said, odd that you're now writing meaningful literate sentences. You say you can do it, which makes the rubbish you were typing before even more disrespectful. And I'm sure you don't get away with typing illiterate twaddle when you're at work. I'm tried of all this fight. Then stop treating me with such disrespect and act like a mature gentleman. I don't know what I even didn't to you. I just wanted to get to know you more, and because I feel attracted to you. You don't know that typing meaningless illiterate twaddle and then trying to tell me it was my fault is what you didn't to me. Read some of the rubbish your mate typed. Then you'll see what I mean, because I'm sure you've noticed that we've changed scammers here. Noted, she sends a smile. Tell me how many other women you're talking to, please. Remember, his mate said she wasn't the only person he was talking to. Just you. Your mate doesn't think so, said Celia, pasting the bit where he'd said, you not the only one I talk to that's from the UK. I have some colleagues here who are from the UK. Obviously you do, said Celia. Remind me where you are, please. Aberdeen, Scotland. I thought so. Well, I want to love and to be loved. What about you, dear? What? Cecilia, stop copying and pasting, please. At least find something relevant to say. What do you mean by that? I think it was self-explanatory. I clicked an option that says bold on my chipboard. That was why that happened, because he'd originally typed it in bold. Why can't you just be okay? Probably, she said, the chipmunks intervened. Tell me about Aberdeen. I haven't been there for many years. What's it like there these days? You see, everything I do wrong, so please block me and go since you don't want to behave like a human. You don't even treat me like I'm human. Oh, so asking you about Aberdeen isn't treating you like a human? I didn't get much to see the place. I was hoping to get a good look after my contract. What I can really say, the place has its beauty. OK, so you've decided to act like a human. Did I also ask you a question? No, said Celia. So he copied where he'd said, well, I want to love and be loved. What about you, dear? To which Celia replied, and I said, what? Stop copying and pasting, please. At least find something relevant to say. But that doesn't answer my question. If no one loves you, she said, you might want to take a look at your attitude. There might be a reason for it. Yeah, he said, you're right. At least you're now typing sensible sentences, unlike your disrespectful mate. Our man sent a laughing face. I'm not surprised that no one loves him. So, would you love to be in a relationship with I and the kids if everything really works out? Tell me about your kids, please, said Celia. They're both twins and they're 13, and their names are Bennett and Arabella. What about yours? My Dan is 30, she said. He lives in Bondi Junction with his wife. I think I told you that. I expect you told me about the twins. Yes, you did, yes. And then our man broke out that all-important list. Well, I don't think that the age difference and distance between us should be a barrier. Rather, the most important thing is for us to be sure if we really find understanding, happiness and joy within each other. Above all, I think love is the greatest. Don't you also think so? What age difference, said Celia. How old did you say you are? Oh, I remember, because I scrolled back. I think you said 64. Yes! Well, I'll be retiring, working with my company by December, so if everything eventually works out great between us, we will definitely be together in December. I can hardly wait, I'm sure you can't either, so that we can begin to commence with the future plan for ourselves. I really want to know more about you. You mean you're retiring in 2 or 3 weeks? Because this was the 9th of November. Yes! How long have you been single without a husband? How exciting, she said. I'm sure you're looking forward to spending more time with your children, since he died, which was almost 9 years ago. YH, he said. Sorry about that. This may be a silly question, said Celia, but what does YH mean, please? So, he continued his way down the list, don't you feel lonely sometimes? I mean loneliness of not having your man next to you? And in reply to her asking what YH meant, he said, yeah. What a ridiculously childish question. Please read the questions on your list before mindlessly copying them. No, he's not. Smile. Yes, it is. Please type something original. What do you plan to do after you've retired? Our man couldn't think of anything original, but he carried on down the list. As for me, I feel lonely a lot of times, and that's why I need to find my true love, a person that will love me as much as I'll love her. I have a feeling that destiny brought us together for a reason. As time passes by, we will find out if we're compatible with each other. From my own opinion, when it comes to marriage, there's actually nothing superior than being with your soulmate, someone who truly adores you, understands you, cherishes and loves you the way you are. Don't you think so? What do you mean by that? He said in reply to her saying, please type something original. You always act all the time, and it's really driving me crazy. I mean, stop copying and pasting paragraphs that I've seen a gazillion times before and type something original. You copying and pasting is driving me crazy, and ignoring what I asked you. Will you go back to Australia to spend Christmas with your children when you retire? And instead of asking again, I'll just copy what I asked you before and you ignored. What do you plan to do after you've retired? I don't have time to argue any more with you, he said. And in reply to her saying, will you go back to Australia to spend Christmas with your children when you retire? He handed his phone back to his mate, the illiterate one. Yes. Why don't all we men even go on a vacation? That's more meaningless twaddle, said Celia. Please give the phone back to your mate that speaks proper English. That's my bad. I made that mistake. So will you go home to spend Christmas with your children? My friends have just arrived. We're going walking for a few hours. I'll be home later. OK. Hello, she said a few hours later. I'm home again. Welcome back. I hope you had a great time. We just went for a walk in some local woods, and then went back to my friend's house for tea and cake. It's turning cold here now. Did you have a great day? Did you have a good day? Okay. Yes, I did, thanks for asking. So what are you up to now? What did you do today? I told you what I did. Well, I direct and supervise the design of ships, submarines and other watercraft, and I also organise and coordinate design work and oversee the construction, alteration or repair of ships and marine equipment. No, said Celia, I didn't ask for your job description. I asked what you did today. I told you what I did today. Nothing much. You must have done something. I work up as usual. Did some drilling and some designs and my lunch and spent some time with the guys. And right, I'm working on our designs. And you still haven't told me if you're going home to spend Christmas with your children. Yes, I will. Why have you been at it? Would you love to come and spend the Christmas with us? He said, sending a photograph of a man with 2 children at Christmas. This was our last this Christmas. Pardon, Cecilia replied to him, saying, why have you been at it? What do you think I've been at? What an odd question. How is it an odd question? That means you don't love to come to Australia. Why have you been at it? Said Celia, is the odd question. What does it mean, please? I'm hoping to go to Sydney in the new year to visit Dan and Julie. It means, he said. Yes? What does it mean? What does why have you been at it mean? Or are you just typing nonsense again? I do wish you wouldn't type twaddle you can't explain. What have you been doing? That's what it means, he said. A very strange way of saying it, said Celia. OK, so why have you been at it? Team Alexander Ferguson got out their most argumentative member. You know, the one that will argue for hours and then tell you it was a joke. When he was done, he went for a lie down in a darkened room and replaced himself with the newest member of the team, the one who hadn't graduated, past reading the list and asking silly questions. Brace yourself, ladies and gentlemen, because here we go. You might want to get out some popcorn. Celia's just asked him, OK, so why have you been at it? Because he told her it means, what have you been doing? Why have you been at it means, why have you been doing this frequently? Said the argumentative member of the team. You said it means, what have you been doing? So that's what I was asking you. Are you now saying you asked a meaningless question and you don't even know what it means? Australia and UK speak different, he tried. I was busy with work. And I get tried to come here sometimes because we do nothing but fight. And you're the one that's always finding something that's wrong. I'm not finding something wrong. You asked me why have you been at it. I didn't understand what you said. So you told me it means what have you been doing? So I asked you the same question. Except that now you've changed your mind and say that isn't what it means. So it's you that's finding something wrong. I've already told you what it means. 2 different versions, said Celia. So what are you doing? So she copied the first one. What have you been doing? That's what it means. You must be at home, he tried. That was version 1. So I asked you the same question. Please leave all this, OK? Instead of answering, you changed your mind about what it means. This is why I say you like arguing a lot. Yes, if you stop typing nonsense and then blaming me because you got it wrong, she said in reply to him, saying, please leave all this OK. Did I tell you what I meant? So she copied both of them. What have you been doing? That's what it means. And why have you been at it means, why have you been doing this frequently? Our type of English are different, dear. Why are you like this? 2 totally different explanations, said Celia. Which is right? I'm getting tried. Like what? She said, in reply to him, saying, why are you like this? I simply asked you what it means. I'm not here for all this, said our man, who obviously had no idea what it meant because his mate had typed it. You told me it means what you're doing, so I asked you the same question. You have to take everyone how they are. Then stop typing nonsense, she said in reply to him, saying, I'm not here for all this. I asked you the same question you asked me. Not, he said, but you refused to answer it. We have different English language, so please answer the questions I asked you. I'm doing nothing. And in reply to him saying we have different English language, she said, which is why I asked you what it means. And you gave me 2 different explanations. So maybe you'd care to tell me which one was the correct explanation, please. The way you guys say or speak your English is different from ours, said our man, who still couldn't decide which was right. But I don't know why you have to fight with me any time you see a difference. Exactly, she said, in reply to him, saying the way you guys say or speak English is different. That's why I asked you what it means. I asked you what it means Because our English is different. Does "why have you been at it" mean "what have you been up to"? Or does "why have you been at it" mean "why have you been doing this frequently"? Please tell me which was the correct explanation, because I know our English is different. To save you saying it again, that's why I asked you to explain what it meant. Which was the correct explanation, please? Do you ever feel you're beating your head against a brick wall, ladies and gentlemen? Some of these scammers are just so dim that they're almost impossible to talk to. It means "why have you been doing frequently"? That's what it means. That was I told you. So your first explanation was wrong. Phew. At last, she said, copying where he'd said, "What have you been doing?" That's what it means. So tell me, he tried, are you at home? Yes, he said, in reply to her, saying the first explanation was wrong. So you didn't type that. Your mate did, she said, copying, "What have you been doing?" That's what it means. At last, she said, in reply to him, saying that his first explanation was wrong. I don't have anyone who types for me, okay? Yeah, mate, we all believe you. It's you that's arguing, isn't it, Cecilia, and trying to pretend you didn't say that. And yes, I'm at home. Where are you? Do you know you're really rude, right? I'm always at work here. Do you know you're the one that's being really rude, right? Trying to pretend that it's my fault that you got it wrong. The typical behaviour, of course, of a narcissist. But I'm less busy for now. Really? He said in reply to her, saying, "Do you know you're the one that's being rude? And I'd like an apology for you trying to blame me for your mistake." You're making me laugh. More typical behaviour of a narcissist. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, remember who typed this? What have you been doing? That's what it means. Are you happy now? Smile. You did, then trying to blame me because you got it wrong. You sound mad all the time. Stop acting like an inane child and apologise for trying to blame me for your mistakes. But I just need. All I did was ask you the same question that you claimed you'd ask me. Stop acting like an inane child and apologise for trying to blame me for your mistakes. Why are you like this? Celia repeated herself. Because you tried to pretend that you hadn't got it wrong and tried to blame me. Stop acting like an inane child and apologise for trying to blame me for your mistakes. When you're ready to talk something else, you let me. Remember who said this, she said, and then changed their mind? Apologise for trying to blame me for your mistakes. But I have. No, you have not. So he copied where he'd said, "Okay, I'm sorry. Go back and read our text." That is not a proper apology, she said, because he'd said, "You making me laugh. Okay, I'm sorry. I want a proper apology, like a real man." "I'm sorry." "I hope so," she said. "Are you happy now?" he said, spoiling the apology. That proves it was not a proper apology. That was childish and facetious. You have one last chance to apologise properly, like a real man. One last chance. Laugh, he said. "I'm sorry." Okay, goodbye. Grow up and stop acting like a childish idiot. So you don't joke? Here we go. Just as with the children, when he realises he's gone down a dead end, he's going to try and pretend it was a joke. Go away, said Celia. Please stop insulting me. You're a rude infantile idiot. I will, he said in reply to her, saying, "Go away. Then apologise properly, like a real man. A proper apology. Just try and joke, like humans, but I can see you're very rude. Goodbye." "This is your last chance. Goodbye, idiot." "That's your answer to everything, isn't it?" said Celia. "Get caught out telling a big fat pack of idiotic, ridiculous lies. Argue, 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 and argue, until even you realise just how brainless, idiotic and stupid you sound. Then pretend it's a joke. So next time you type meaningless drivel, refuse to explain, and pretend you really did mean what you say, oh no, it's just a joke. Which means most of what you say is just a joke, as most of it's meaningless drivel. In future, please add, 'This was a joke,' or 'This isn't a joke,' after everything you type, so I know how to tell the difference." "Are you still there?" "Yes." "Do you mean the name you call me already, or are you here to play with my feelings, Celia?" "You didn't add 'This was a joke' or 'This isn't a joke,' so I don't know if you're being serious or not, because it's you that's playing with my feelings, talking nonsense, pretending you didn't, then claiming it was a joke. So I need to know when you're being honest and when you're joking. Remember all that rubbish about your children, which you argued and argued and argued and argued and argued about, then said it was just a joke. I'm tired of your jokes." "I'm very serious. I'm sorry if I talked to you the way you don't like, Celia. Please add 'That's a joke' or 'That isn't a joke,' so I know." "All right, hun. I'm serious. And please never you call me name again when we get to talk, sweet Celia. Okay? I'll call you names if you ever try to blame me for your mistakes again, and And if you're making a joke, please say it's a joke. And don't argue and argue and argue and argue and argue and try to pretend you're being serious. It isn't clever, and it certainly isn't funny. What's the time there? And what are you doing apart from chatting with me now? It's okay, hun, said our man in Scotland. What time do you think it is? I do hope that isn't another of your childish jokes. I'm drinking tea. Can you forgive so easily? And please less talk about ourselves. And stop all this argue and argue. Yes, said Celia, please do stop all this arguing, which is why I need to know when you're joking. I'm tried of the fight with you. And what did you eat for dinner? We've hardly had any talk about ourselves, said Celia in reply to him saying, please less talk about ourselves. I'm not sure how we could have less. Yes, I'm tired of your ridiculous jokes too. Don't blame me if you're tired. It was your idea to argue and then claim it was a joke. I had fish and chips. What did you have for dinner? Oh, here we go again. Pan-fried hock. H-O-K if you're not looking at the screen. I don't think I know what that is. And chilled fruit. Please tell me without joking, so I don't have to ask you again. I'm not. What about you? Do I have to repeat myself? I don't think I know what that is. Please tell me without joking, she said, copying pan-fried hock. So he sent her a photograph of some fried fish. I've never heard of it, she added. That is what a pan-fried hock is. How you know what it is? Just FYI, said Celia. Google's never heard of it either, so I'll assume that's another of your jokes, even though you claim it isn't. Our man, I think at this point, handed his phone to his mate. After searching, I want you to go image, and you'll find it there. What? Replied Celia. Please stop typing nonsense. It isn't my idea of a funny joke. And just FYI, I've done a reverse image search, so now I know it definitely isn't hock. If that was meant to be a joke, it also isn't funny. And here you are. I'll do that reverse image search for you now. It appears on a few sites. Somewhere it's rotated. Who knows what the original really looked like? But Google seems to think it's pan-fried tilapia, which may well be called hock in some countries. I don't know, but of course our man couldn't explain it. Our man's mate, who was new to the team and could do nothing more than just read his way down the list, broke out the list that he'd been given. How big is your family and do you leave alone? Oh, FGS, said Celia. Please, 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 please. Stop typing gibberish and nonsense. I think you're drunk or your mate has taken over. Go and sober up. Good night. To which our man replied, do you smoke or drink? You forgot to add flirt and party all the time, said Celia. Please go and drink some strong coffee and sober up. Good night. Smile. Good night. In the middle of the night, one of them typed, I know he's late, but are you there? Not at 2 a.m, said Celia the next morning. OK, dear, how was your night? And I hope you're doing well. Please text me when you can. I was actually online, so if you're looking at the screen, you'll see I replied immediately. I'm on my tea break. Guess you didn't want to talk after all, she said several minutes later. I have to go back to work now. I was busy with work. I'm on my lunch break now, said Celia at lunchtime. I just got home, she said a bit later. I hope you had a good day at work. Hi, yes, I did, thanks. A colleague and I had meetings in 2 of the colleges this morning. What have you been doing? Fine now that you're here. I've been thinking about you. Yes, said Celia, but I asked what you've been doing. Oh, come on, ladies and gentlemen. I bet you can guess. Nothing much. Just doing some paperwork. Do you ever do any real work or just paperwork, which makes you a secretary? A paperwork can mean anything. I don't know why you always make me get tried of our conversation, because anything I do is wrong. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, this doesn't go on forever. I'd had enough of him. And I don't know why you never ever type anything that makes sense. She copied a paperwork and mean anything. Please tell me what that means. I mean it. Please tell me what that means. Or is that another of your silly jokes? Is meaning I meant me drawing some designs or arranging some document? If you say so, said Celia. I don't see any connection between that and what you typed before, but I'm getting used to you typing meaningless drivel and expecting me to interpret it, and fairly soon, when he calls, you'll hear exactly why he's typing meaningless drivel. What do you use to draw your designs? Most people at the university do that on their computers. I don't think I know anyone that still does it on paper here. Pencil, of course, is just so many things you don't know. You're so old-fashioned, said Celia. Smile. What were you designing? Oh, don't ask. You know I really like you, and actually, if we build a strong relationship with each other, I will travel directly from here in Aberdeen to meet you. in your country so that we can be together and make some plans towards our future. I just want to love you and make love to you and show you that I haven't been able to thinking about you. But you fight all the time." "Oh," Cecilia, "you think Scotland's a different country? I guess the people in Scotland would agree." And in reply to him saying, "But you fight all the time," she said, "Well, if you didn't type meaningless drivel all the time and then try to pretend it's a joke, I wouldn't have to keep asking you over and over and over to explain yourself." "Okay, so please tell me more about yourself. What are your habits? Do you smoke, drink, flirt and party all the time?" He got them all in this time. "And how long do you think it would take you to travel directly from here in Aberdeen?" And I'll insert a screenshot here. This is how long it takes on the train from Aberdeen to Durham. A direct train from Aberdeen to Durham takes 4 hours and 39 minutes. I don't think there are any flights from Aberdeen to Newcastle. It isn't far enough. Stop sounding like a prize idiot. Your illiterate mate asked me that last night. "I don't know yet until I ask my flight agent," he said, in reply to her saying how long would it take him. "And it's not yet? Grow up." "Cecilia, why do you want to fly? It would take you just as long to get here from the airport." And our man, as you'll hear later, was too stoned to understand what she was saying. "I really want to know you more, so would come spend time with you with the kids. Then at least have the courtesy to scroll back and try to remember where I live. So I will be there early to see the kids," he said in reply to her saying, "Why do you want to fly? You said you want to come here directly." This bit gets a bit tedious, feel free to fast forward. "I can get to Australia and still come back to see you with the kids." Changed her mind again. "Another of your silly jokes." "Yes, didn't you read my text?" "Yes, it's another of your silly jokes. And when you said you want to come here directly from Aberdeen, you didn't mean it." She said, copying where he'd said, "I will travel directly from here in Aberdeen to meet you." I assume that was one of your silly jokes. Directly does not equal via Australia. Please quit with the silly jokes, act like a mature man and type what you really mean. "The reason said that is because I would love to see you in person, then come back with the kids. Now you understand?" "Yes, so why do you want to fly here?" "I like you, and I would like us to on a date." "Why do you think you need to fly here?" I'm going to miss some of it out, ladies and gentlemen, because after seeing you, I will have to get the kids from Australia and fly here. That's why I have to fly. "Why do you think you have to fly to here?" "Don't worry about that. I'll get there." "This has nothing to do with going to Australia. Why do you think you have to fly here?" "I just told you." "No, you didn't. It was nothing to do with Australia, nothing to do with your kids." "This was what I said. I'm tried of talking to you. Talk to you later. You're not fun at all." I assume this is another of your stupid jokes. You're acting like a dimblewick again, typing drivel, which you'll then tell me is one of your pathetic jokes. Why do you have to fly here from Aberdeen? Nothing to do with Australia, nothing to do with your kids. Did I told you that I would love to go on a day with you? Or don't you know how to read? Yes, I can read. Why do you think you have to fly here from Aberdeen? Can you read? Yes, I know you want to go on a date. Yes, I know your kids live in Australia. Because after seeing you, I would go home and have to enter a plan back. That's why don't you I know how to read. Why do you need to use a plane to get here? You really can't read, can you? So that's nothing to do with Australia. Nothing to do with your kids. I'm so sick of your pathetic jokes. So your apology last night wasn't real. Do I have to type it one word at a time and space the words for you? Oh, I'm not serious. That's why I'm not saying anything. Why do you need to get on a plane to come here? I've answered your question more than once. I know, said Celia. I'll call you. Then you can explain why you need to fly here from Aberdeen. And so she tried to call him. What? He said. She tried again. If you want to see me, let's go on Telegram. I've told you this. I don't want to see you. Answer my call, please. I only know how on Telegram. Don't be ridiculous. Just tap on join and talk to me. And so finally he answered. See, I knew you could do it. It helps if you turn your microphone on. It's very rude to mute your microphone. Are you too much of a cad to talk to me now? I'll assume that means you are. It's very rude, you know, to answer a call and mute your microphone and not talk.
I can hear you now.
I'm here now. Yeah, right. I presume that saying you need to fly directly here from Aberdeen is one of your jokes. Can you tell me why you think it's funny?
I didn't say it's funny, okay? I didn't say it's funny. I told you that I was going to fly from Aberdeen because I was going to get the kids. I was going to get my kids from Australia. Then I'll get back to Aberdeen, okay? So I can come see you from there. I just want
Right.
to see you
So
soon.
when you said you want to come to me directly from Aberdeen, you didn't mean it. That was your joke, was it?
It wasn't a joke. I was very serious. I was very serious about it.
So it wasn't a joke, it was just a mistake.
Yeah, I didn't make a mistake,
Yeah.
okay? I didn't make a mistake, okay? I didn't make a mistake, okay?
So if it
I
wasn't a
was
mistake,
I
what was
was
it? A
I
joke?
was supposed to I was supposed to see you first, okay? If I didn't get to see you, how was I going to know where you live at?
Right,
So I was supposed to.
you've forgotten where I live, have you?
I'm supposed to get the address. You didn't send any address. You only told me where you lived. You didn't give me an address.
Yeah. Have you forgotten where I live?
No, I haven't.
You haven't, right. Are you
Mm,
sure about that? That isn't a joke. You haven't forgotten where I live.
No, I haven't.
Right.
I have it on my phone.
Right, you have it on your phone. So,
Yeah.
why do you think you need to fly directly from Aberdeen to get here? Has nothing to do with going to Australia,
Okay.
nothing
Okay.
to do with going. Shut
Okay.
up,
Now.
no,
Okay.
shut up, shut up,
Hey.
shut up,
Hey.
shut up,
You shut up.
shut up,
You shut
shut
up.
up,
Okay.
shut,
Just keep
shut up,
going.
shut up,
Just keep
shut
going.
up, shut
You're gonna
up.
surely get tired. Are you not tired? Now you're tired. Just keep going. You think you're a machine, okay? You think you're a machine that can keep. Just keep going. Why are you laughing? Are you tired of saying shut up?
Tell me where I live.
I'm not gonna tell you because you're so rude, okay?
Tell me where I live. You
Go
said
fuck
you've got
yourself,
it.
okay?
You said you've got it on your phone. Tell me where I live.
I'm not gonna tell you because you're fucking rude, okay? You're
That means you
fucking
can't.
rude.
That means you don't remember where I live, and you're lying to me.
Fucking rude. You're fucking rude, okay?
Excuse me.
You're
It's not
fucking
me that's
rude.
using foul language. So you're lying to me when you say you remember where I live. Is that another of your jokes?
I didn't lie. I didn't lie when I told you where I live, but you're fucking rude.
Right. So you
You
didn't.
telling me to shut up.
So you
Who?
didn't. You
Who
didn't
you
lie.
telling me to shut up? Do you know you're telling to shut up?
So you didn't
You're very
lie when you.
fucking rude.
So you
You're
didn't.
fucking rude. I want you to shut up. You fucking rude, okay? You fucking rude. I don't like the attitude. That's why I don't like talking to you, okay?
So you don't remember where I live, do you?
I'm in the call, okay?
No,
Go
you
to
don't. You
bed.
don't remember where I live, do you?
You're drunk or something.
No, you don't remember where I live. That's what it is. Yeah, exactly. You really don't remember where I live, do you? So none of your silly jokes is pretending that you do, and you're obviously stoned, so you've probably forgotten that you're in Lagos, not Aberdeen. Finally, he managed to scroll back and find where she said, I live in Durham in the north of England. Awesome, so why do you think you need to fly to get here directly from Aberdeen? Or are you too stupid to look on a map? Is that your joke, that you don't know how to use a map? Celia, you sound upset now. And why'd you like to accuse me when we chat? Is that your joke, that you don't know how to use a map? I really hate it, and please never you use the word stupid to me again. Is that your joke, that you don't know how to use a map? Then stop acting stupid. Our man swore at Celia. You're too stupid. I assume that means that the joke is that you really are too stupid to use a map, and it's very rude to talk to a lady when you're so stoned out of your tiny brains that you can't even string a coherent sentence together. You're just a pathetic excuse for a human being and a total waste of oxygen. I've had enough of you now, and I'm sure the viewers have too. Our man realised his scam was going nowhere and tried, I need your help. I need I can't access my account because I don't have enough Apple gift cards to get it done. And he sent a screenshot, which is very hard to read, of a fake Merrill bank account. Because obviously, if access to your Merrill bank account is denied, an Apple card is the answer to all your problems. Just for the record, ladies and gentlemen, it isn't. And if the person that you're talking to online tells you they need an Apple Card or a Steam card or any other kind of card to access their bank account, then you know you're talking to a scammer. I was hoping you could help me get an Apple gift card. Are you there? So now you've decided to turn into a begging Nigerian kid, said Celia, and at this point she blocked him because I'd had enough of him. And that, originally, was the end of the video. But a few days later, our man reappeared on Facebook, and I just had to put this bit in. I have to get funds to my kids and my investment, he said, sending this wonderful screenshot. You're going to love this, guys. Remember, our man's in Australia. Hello, Alexander, it says, Bank of America. His Advantage Plus account has the sum of $3600, comma, space, 000 space, $000 in it. You can interpret that however you like. And then underneath, it says, you need the amount of $500 Apple gift card before you're able to access. And if you look at this, you can see it's a Photoshop message that he's copied from somewhere else. Enter the verification code that we sent to, all that bit has been added, and then the real screenshot, not your phone number, change. Verify in a box to verify. By verifying your phone number above, you agree to receive text message alerts from Aura. To opt out, text stop or visit the alerts page in your customer profile. I'm pleased to know the scammer uses Aura. Celia wasn't impressed. Oh, she said, a contender for most ridiculous fake screenshot ever. At least put the commas and spaces in the right place. It would make the amounts in your accounts look so much more believable. Apparently our man wasn't impressed by that, because when Celia tried to say to him, just FYI, that's Bank of America, you live in Australia, did you forget that? If you're looking at the screen, you'll see that last message didn't send, because our man had given up and blocked her. I hope you enjoyed this tale. I'm not sure enjoyed is the right word, of a scammer who, well, I don't even know the right words to describe him, but I'm sure you can insert your own. If you did, you know what to do. Please like it, please share it, please comment down below, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again in another video.